Box fighting has and always will be a staple to competitive Fortnite, but to newer or even intermediary players, watching your favorite pro players hit a million edits and then follow it up with a 200 pump all from the confines of his or her box, it makes the mechanics seem like a very daunting task to say the least. But today I plan to dispel the myth that box fighting is a difficult task by showing you 5 tips that will turn you guys into A, better box fighter, and B, a better overall player. If you guys are excited for the video, make sure to buckle up, get ready, and subscribe to the channel if you're new, because over 98% of you guys aren't subscribed to the channel. It would really mean a lot, and leave a like as well if you're interested in this kind of content. It really motivates me to keep going. And with that said, let's get right into the video. Alrighty guys, before we get into the tips, I want to make one thing clear for you guys. When you're box fighting, you're going to be in one of 2 positions. Either you're going to be inside of a box, which is considered, in my opinion, a defensive position when box fighting, or you're going to be aggressing a box, which is the aggressive position. So you could be either aggressing or on the defense. So offense or defense. In this case, I'm in the box, I'm protecting myself, I'm on the defense. So I'm going to have tips that show offensive tips and defensive tips. I'm going to start it off by giving you guys a defensive tip, which is going to be the cone placement against an aggressor to your box. And what do I mean by cone placement? So if you guys don't know, I'm going to be teaching you guys right now, so it's a good thing you guys are watching the video. You can actually place a cone on top of a tile in front of you, whatever tile you're looking at, as long as you're looking in the right direction. So in this case, if you're looking slightly above the middle point past a window, you're going to be able to place a cone. You can do this with any opening, including a window, which is going to be very important for you guys. So what I would suggest you guys do is, let's say, for example, and this is something that happens very often, you have an opponent that puts a ramp down right here and they start chomping away at your wall. Well, the moment they come down here, you can open up a window edit, sit all the way in the back of your box so that the person has no angle on you, place that cone, and now they're stuck under here. And you have a lot of options at that point, but either way, you've put them in a very, very uncomfortable spot. Generally, the rule of thumb is that you want to open this right window simply because as long as you stay as close to the left as possible, you'll still be able to place the cone. And also, given that Fortnite's third-person shooter heavily favors the right side, when you are on the right side, you get a right-hand peek. While opening up this edit from the opponent's view only gives them a left-hand peek, which is not really enough. They'll have to overextend to try to peek you, and if they do try and peek you, you're going to get the first shot every single time. Now, what do we do once we've coned our opponent? Well, that's up to you guys. Depends on your playstyle. There's a few different options that I suggest. One, I would like for you guys to open up the cone and the floor on top of you, get up like this, and now you just have the high ground. It's simple. You have the high ground. You can either box it up again and heal if you need to, or whatever the case may be, you're giving yourself more separation and giving yourself the prime position compared to your opponent, who's still probably going to be under your cone by the time you get up here. Alrighty guys, moving into tip number 2. This one is also a defensive box fighting mechanism. This one is called Clix's 3-point edit. Now, when I was first learning to play Fortnite, when I would go to make a 3-point edit as such, aka a Dorito edit or a triangle edit, I would edit from the top all the way down to the right. Then open up the edit. You could do your peanut butter, you could jump and hit your shot or whatever, but the way I would do it, once again, I would start up here, hit the edit, and then jump and shoot. Now, the problem with this is, if you notice where you complete your edit, it's all the way to the right. And unless your opponent is like right here, you're going to have to move your crosshair a good bit, usually all the way here to the middle, flicking before you can shoot, often leading into either not hitting your shot at all, or if you do hit, maybe you're only going to hit a couple pellets. Either way, you're redundantly giving yourself more variance and kind of just negative free rolling yourself. Now, I was watching Clix's stream, and I feel like he was one of the first people to do this, but I dubbed it as Clix's 3-point edit because he would hit this edit very, very often, going from the bottom right all the way up to the top middle. And I thought that was kind of ingenious because now your crosshair ends up in the middle, usually where your opponent is. And I mean, even if they're a little bit to the left or right, I mean, you're only moving your crosshair just the smallest fraction compared to having to move your crosshair all the way across your screen, almost flicking to hit your opponent. So basically, all I'm going to have you guys do here is, the moment your opponents drop down, I want you guys to start your edits from the bottom and go to the top middle, open up your shotgun, hit your shots. You're not gonna miss as many shots from that position anymore, and you're still getting all the benefit of hitting a regular peanut butter edit. Alright guys, moving on to tip number 3. This one is where we're going to be moving on the offensive. When you're getting aggressive against someone, I want to show you guys how to smartly box fight them when they're playing from the defensive position. And this tip isn't just one simple little trick. I'm trying to give you more of a meta understanding, and that is to always be holding those right angles when you're playing against a defensive box fighter. Remember what I was saying earlier on in the video about how you don't want to allow your opponent to have a right hand peek? Well, when you're on the offensive, you want to flip your rolls and you want to always find that right hand peek. And you do this by always being on the left side of your opponent. So if you say your opponent's in this box, you always want to be on this side if you're attacking this wall. If you're attacking this wall, you always want to be on this side, or at least closer to this side. If you're going to be on the same tile, you want to be as close to the left as possible. That's because no matter where they peek you, you're always going to have a larger view angle, and it's going to be easier to hit your shots. How do you want to implement this? Well, this is pretty simple. If you want to attack their sidewall, I would recommend never being on the same tile completely adjacent. I'd rather be slightly off to the left, one tile away. And you can do this by putting a wall to the left just so that they can't make an edit on this side. Pull a wall on the left, and then you can start chopping away at this wall. You can place another wall here and pre-edit it so they can't build in front of you. You can try to take the wall, build in their box. Some other tips that you guys can take advantage of, this is something I use a lot. I like to put a cone here, start whacking away at the wall, take it, just like that. And if you guys don't know how to take walls, I do have a video on that. I'm going to link it down in the description. Yeah, you can take walls pretty easily as long as you're not on super high ping. But either way, you can always work to bait out a shot. But the key point, no matter what, is that no matter where you're looking at your opponent, you need to have this right hand peek on them. Because the moment you're on this side, well, guess what? They're going to do a peanut butter edit on you. If you're right here, I mean, they're going to shoot you from up here. They're going to have that right hand peek. You're going to have the left hand peek. They're going to hit you the first time every time, and you're going to die. You're going to be back in the lobby wondering, oh, what did I do wrong? Well, that's what you did wrong. You didn't hold that right hand peek. So next time you hop into a game and you see someone defensively box fighting, I want you guys to always focus on staying on the left side to give yourself the right hand peek. So we're moving back to defensive tips once again for tip number 4, which is edit bait resets. This is something that was used kind of a lot back in the day, but I don't see people using it as much anymore, especially in a real game scenario. I want to refresh your memories on what this is and how you guys are going to be able to flawlessly execute on it. Now, the edit bait reset is specifically if you're on keyboard and mouse, making an edit and then instantly resetting it, baiting out the shot, giving yourself a free shot. This works because if your opponent's on shotgun, if they have a shotgun out, specifically if they have the pump out, if you bait out their shot, they can't shoot again for another good 2 seconds, which gives you more than enough time to counter them with a shot that's uncounterable on your own. The implementation of this is quite simple, right? You do an edit that you would make in a real scenario. So like a peanut butter edit, like a window edit, even a 4-point edit. Any of those edits work. The key point is that you go and reset it as soon as possible. There have been countless times that I've seen people just sit here on the top of their ramp. Kind of smart, honestly, a little bit genius. They're sitting here, they're waiting, and the moment you make an edit, they're gonna shoot you. Like they maybe fake pull out their pickaxe once or twice, but either way, the point is that they're waiting for you to edit so that they can shoot you. No matter what edit you make, they're still gonna get that first shot on you because they already have their gun out. Well, I mean, you're gonna hit them with the edit, bait, reset. They're gonna shoot the wall down. Either you can be turbo building the wall, replace the wall if they shoot it down, pop open a window edit, and get the first shot on them. They're not going to be able to shoot you back. You're getting a free roll, you're getting a free shot on them, and that's always going to give you the advantage in the fight. You are almost never going to have a negative consequence from trying out the edit bait reset. Last but certainly not least, I need to talk to you guys about adjusting edits without resetting. Now, what do I mean by this? Pretty simple. I'm talking about if you have a wall that's already edited, wall, whatever, stair, I don't really care. But if you have something that's already edited, I want you guys to get comfortable with resetting and making the new edit without actually resetting the wall. So instead of resetting then making the new edit, I want it to be one fluid motion. Now, why do I want to teach you guys about this? It seems completely random. Yes, it does save a little bit of time, but more so than that, when you're in an endgame scenario and you're boxing up, oftentimes your fights are going to be in box fights. Oftentimes you're not going to actually be in a scenario where you have a lot of room to work with. Sometimes you're going to be on a layer where the floor isn't yours, it's someone else's floor. So having full control of your pyramid in your box is going to give you a slight edge, especially in those crucial situations in the end game. And think about it like this. If you have someone in your box right here, do you really want to reset it and then make an edit? Possibly giving them the chance to phase through and absolutely murk you? I mean, if they're on controller, they got an SMG. I mean, they're going to murk you, you know? Instead of resetting and making the new edit, right? You have the edit here. Go to the next edit. It's going to give you more dexterity in your box, and it's going to allow you more agility, especially in critical situations. So there you guys have it, 5 box fighting tips that is guaranteed to make you a better player overnight. Head into creative, practice these tips, go ahead and 1v1 your friends in box fights and realistic 1v1s, and try to focus on what I told you guys, and it's going to help you guaranteed. And once again, if you guys have made it to the end of the video, you obviously enjoyed it, so make sure to go ahead and leave a like on the video. And if you're not subscribed, please go and do so, because it really helps me out here, and it really makes me want to continue to grind and upload more content that's going to help you become the best player possible. With that said, I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.